it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go
No,
lefty.
we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scaccia.
I just chugged my strawberry milk. I couldn't remember what kind it was.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Austin, how's it going tonight?
Judging by our comment section,
Things are firing.
it's not going well
Wow.
for someone.
I don't even know where to begin. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Chloe. Welcome, Nick.
Nick
Welcome,
Deconia.
Nick from Canada.
Welcome the other Nick. Welcome to
Jack
Chloe.
10 Back Bowling. What's up?
Gosh darn,
Andrew K.
my name's Kyle Haines, and I'm your host for Down Lane Podcast.
To 10 Back's comment, we hope the facts come out too. Big goings on. We're just going to jump right into it.
You're not gonna ask me how my week was.
No, not yet. Well, let's just get.
Lewis Hamilton is going to Ferrari in 2025. That is more important news. Is that real? Where's my phone?
All right, settle down. Let's just get right into it. Brandon Novak. Brandon.
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 B-R-A.
A.
It is an A.
Brandon Novak is currently not
In jail.
He's not at the tournament.
He made the cut, but
He was in the cashers round. Could you imagine going through that grueling effing tournament? What's up, Dave? Two-handed beast. What's going on? Could you imagine being in the freaking main field of the U.S. Open?
Hey, bud, you gotta come with me.
U.S. Marshals show up to the house, the bowling house, the bowling center, lock you up and take you out.
incredible.
So that's the word on the street. Multiple witnesses have
I've got
stated.
insider information.
Are you gonna say it?
No, I just want Jeff to
Oh, just a comment.
hold on.
Well,
to it for a little
the
bit.
11th frame article did state all of the same things that we've heard. State the same things that that Facebook has stated, that eyewitnesses at the bowling center saw Brandon Novak removed from the center in handcuffs by U.S. Marshals.
Did he get a refund? Probably not.
I don't think so. No refunds issued by the USBC. So saw some rumors that urethane was too soft. I don't think the U.S. Marshals are worried about.
Todd, how's it going?
Worried about the hardness.
Anita, that was good. I was trying to find where you wrote something and I found it.
One thing to mention that I'll
Touch base.
I want to give Jeff Riggles credit for making a connection is that back in 2022, Brandon was arrested in Ohio. I'm not sure what the actual charge was, but he does have or was issued temporary restraining and temporary protection orders. So it is possible that he could have violated some sort of this is pure speculation, but it is possible that he's violated some sort of
Parole agreement.
parole or what's the other one? The other P.
Protection.
No. When you're not on parole, you are on
Probation.
Either a probationary or a parole order that says you couldn't
How'd you guys not get that?
I'm sorry. Couldn't leave the county or couldn't leave the state without permission. Maybe he never got permission, something like that. And the U.S. Marshals came and swept him up because it's pretty public that he's in Indiana at the moment, or was. So that's all I think most people know right now, except probably the people that are on site. But yeah, two-handed beast. Maybe he was fighting over Taylor Swift. Who knows?
Anita, another good one.
And he's always full of hot stuff. I think I saw he had something related to property damage. I think he ruined a ball return after a Stone 8. Good one.
It's not Rob.
So anyway, yeah, who knows what the actual charge was, but like Jeff Riggle said, it is possible that has something to do stemming from his old charges. That's a possibility. But if it's U.S. Marshals, it's got to be some sort of not local crime to pull you.
Federal.
Yeah, either federal crime or he
The feds.
he left home without permission.
Tisk,
That's
tisk.
possible.
Tisk, tisk. Brendan, Brandon, Brian.
That being said, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Check out the Etsy shop with all of our merch, including our Bowlers Bowl shirt, our Thane Bang shirt, all of our other merch. Right
Stay
now,
in your lane shirt is coming.
ooh, stay in your lane per last episode.
2 episodes ago.
You can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com, which we do have a listener question that we will try to get to tonight, which I did not prep Anthony on. So hopefully he's got the right answer.
There are no right answers.
And if you can't watch on YouTube, you can always download and or listen via your favorite podcast service like Apple Podcasts, or
Apple iTunes.
I know I keep saying that, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, guys, how was your week this week, Anthony? Austin? Who wants to go first?
I mean, short and sweet. Bowled like crap Thursday night. Bowled pretty good over the weekend.
You and I
Complain
both
about the
bowled poopy
weekend.
on Thursday.
Monday night, I thought I bowled fantastic. Didn't score anything.
Oh, let me pause you for 1 second. I do want to let the guys know, if anybody doesn't have Bowl TV, we are watching it literally right now next to your comments. So we can keep you abreast of anything that's going on.
Who the heck is that guy?
Speaking of which, we did just watch Richie Teese leave 2 7-10s and make
True,
one of
Andrew.
them. So that was pretty sick.
What the frig
Very-
is this guy wearing?
Very true, Andrew. Very true.
That's Spencer Robarge.
What the frig is all that?
He copies Kyle Troop. That's his thing. That's what he likes to do.
I couldn't imagine wearing those
I will
pants.
say the first time I saw him, he was in the full-blown USA outfit.
I don't think I'm a fan of the pants matching the shirt. It just looks weird to me.
All right, sorry. And I'm looking at Andrew's comment. Talking to Austin. Austin, go ahead. How was your week this week? You bowled bad Thursday, bowled good on the weekend.
Bowled good on the weekend. I thought I threw the ball very well Monday. Could not score anything, which is okay. I made all my spares besides a Greek church.
That's
So
good.
I can't be mad there. And mentally decided to not think about bowling until I walked in this building today. Yeah, I was very not happy with the way Monday night went down.
Kyle's fellow Zillow staffer, Jake Peters.
He's on the TV right now. And Nick says that Kyle Troop and his father were very unprofessional.
I mean, I guess it is unprofessional to wear that stuff back in the day, but
Wow.
I mean, I will say it's pretty cool looking. But I don't like
Nowadays, they want to be flashy.
Yeah.
I don't like the
that's new
pants though.
style.
I don't think I like the pants. I mean, I don't mind if it's a different color pants, but if you're wearing like a sweatsuit here, they're
Oh,
bowling.
and
the
they're
same
bowling
lane.
head to head right now. Troop versus Spencer Robarge. But
I mean,
but
I'm
Troop's,
not a yeah, but
Troop's wearing
see,
classic style right now.
no, he's
Oh,
got
the bottom.
he's got
the
some
bottom
wings
flare.
on his legs. I
Yeah.
don't particularly. That's not me. That's not my style. I would just. It would be better if it was just green pants. I don't like the winged bottoms. It doesn't make him look like he's going any faster. So it's really
I
not
think
really
it
worth.
gives him a little more RPM, if you ask me.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going any faster. So,
And how was your week this week?
well, I bowled Monday.
Yeah.
No idea what I got.
Okay.
Can't even remember.
How'd it feel?
Felt pretty good on Monday. Felt real good. Oh, somebody said, I hope Swoop the Rack is watching. Rod.
Why?
From on the US Open channel.
Oh,
I just thought that was funny.
okay.
You should type in
That's-
the US
that's in
Open
the other chat.
No, we're
Yeah.
watching it in
All right.
Downlane Podcast.
I bowled good Tuesday. I think I shot 740 or something. I don't know. I felt pretty good. And last night I didn't feel great. I don't know. I just didn't feel the greatest. But we did bowl last Friday. Me, Kyle, our friend Nick Harris, and Matt Falzone over at the town team tournament. We also put up 2,700.
Yes.
We put up 2,700, 2,710 for 3 games, 4-man team, which isn't bad. I had 690, Matt had 750, Kyle had 630, and Nick had like 630, something like that. So we bowled pretty well there, and I got a bowl tomorrow night too. So I'm really not sure how that's going to go. We're bowling with Connor LeClaire, Nick Lucia, and Matt again. So we'll see how that one goes. Hopefully we can bowl a little bit better. No offense to Kyle or Nick. You know, I don't want you guys to feel
Listen,
bad. But
I get that we're second fiddle. I understand. It's fine. I bowled like, extremely mediocre.
I never said that you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I was just saying they asked me to bowl. And
You guys just stuffed urethane up the lane all day. I get it. And
you mean around the lane?
I get it. I know. But
I was hooking it more than you were.
okay, not true. But anyway,
Kind of, sort of close. Maybe not that far, but residential criminal defense attorney is now present.
Pizza Wings, welcome.
Pizza Wings in the house.
Always coming up with the goods, Pizza Wings. But I bowled pretty good on last Thursday. I bowled pretty good Friday night. I got a bowl Friday. We got a bowl tonight. I'm hoping that I feel a little better. I did get some new shoes. Very happy with them. I feel as if I just have a little bit more stability in the shoes, but I also get lower to the ground because the shoes are a little bit more matching to my foot style. So that's been an issue because I think I'm getting a little too close to the line. I'm getting on the lane too fast. I'm hitting the foul line in my hand.
Yeah, dude, you're getting it on the lane real quick.
Yeah, but it's like my hand's down there.
Yeah.
I just gotta be. I think if I'm just a little more upright, it just gets it down the lane a little bit better. Just because I'm so good on my legs, my legs are so strong right now. I look like Belmo just with longer arms. So
And you guys
Just
could,
like Belmo.
you guys could judge that if you convinced Anthony to get some video of league.
I can't even find my phone.
Speaking of Belmo, he just shot 210, and Trevor Roberts has
Skip Scott, Happy New
He's got to
Year,
punch
man.
out to
He's got to
win.
punch out for a 213.
Skippy Scott, how's that hot tub, baby?
So I bowled with you guys Friday night, Thursday night. If you watched tonight, we bowled this week. Did not go so well for me or Nick, for that matter.
A lot of bleeps.
Yeah, a lot. The bleep button
What are
was
the chances
hot.
he gets 4 in a row here?
Kyle
You
had
got one.
like a
Wow, 'cause
full
it looks
second
hard.
and a half bleep in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Multiple syllables.
Morse code, I think they called it. So anyway, but Friday night, I felt like I was bowling okay. I will say, so I bowled Friday night at the town team tournament, and then I bowled Sunday afternoon. And it was kind of funny that I don't know if it's the lane surface or who we were bowling with or whatever, but I felt like the ball was getting through the lane much better on Friday night than it was on Sunday. Like I could not get the ball down the lane on Sunday.
Go second shift on Sunday.
Was there a shift? I don't know. I don't know what.
It was
What time did you bowl?
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Then there was a shift before you.
Okay. So
Oh, he likes it.
not good.
Oh, he didn't.
So
He
loses
gave
that.
himself a thumbs up, so maybe he's happy with. He tried his best. There was a
Skip
good-
Shop,
that's
it
Trevor
is on
Roberts,
Bowl
yeah.
TV right now.
Yes,
Match
yes,
play.
Skippy, Bowl TV, GoBowling.com.
You gotta remember they can't see it if they're just listening.
Yeah, no, I'm just sorry. Probably, I would assume that the lanes were a little bit more drier, and the mid lanes are felt more drier because probably second shift. What lanes you bowl on?
Middle, I think 11 and 12.
I don't like 11
Yeah,
and
I was
12.
on 13, 14.
I don't think I prefer. I like 1 and 2. Everybody
So that
hates 1 and 2.
being,
I
that being
love
said,
1
I
and 2.
bowled
I
about 30, 40 pins less than Friday night.
I
about
gotta be
600?
honest. I think Kyle
590, yeah.
could have got steeper.
Pardon?
I think
Steeper.
Steeper.
Yeah,
I think
well,
he could have got steeper, and you would have had a little
I
more
kept moving
forgiveness.
every single frame. I was moving every frame.
I did notice that.
but it was the ball. If I got it away, it was gone. So I was
Yep.
a little too
I did the
nervous
same thing.
to
I
go
mean,
left.
The last 2 games I played very steep with the angle.
Andrew Anderson's there. Oh, he is not
PBA
having.
washout, Andrew Anderson.
He's not having a good day.
All right, so let's talk about the U.S. Open since we're watching it live here. We're watching Match Play live on Bowl TV. Trying to give a little live update as we talk about also the past performances of this week.
If everybody can find my phone if you were watching and you're at the bowling alley, let me
Somebody
know
bring Anthony his phone.
so I can see the standings.
10 back bowling also says I have trouble getting the ball to float through the fronts. If I'm too far forward, my legs get gassed faster too. This game's hurts so good. It sounds like you and me have the same exact problem.
You guys should be like friends.
U.S. Open this week was hard, just like all the other years. Same exact patterns as last year too, which we talked about last week. Anthony, talk about your disdain for these patterns and why you hate them so much.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't particularly care for the 1-to-1. If some people aren't familiar with 1-to-1, that's how much oil is. Did he not strike on that last shot? Anyways, it's how much
Andrew
oil.
Anderson and EJ Tackett are bowling head to head right now in match play.
EJ, I thought, flushed it. Anyways, I do not particularly care for the flat patterns. What flat means is there's oil basically evenly distributed throughout the entire lane,
And this year,
making it as hard as possible,
and
where
in the
topography sets into play.
and in the U.S. Open, literally,
It's all one-to-ones.
it's flat.
Yeah.
The oil is at least.
I don't particularly care for it. I think it definitely makes you have to be pretty super spot on, but I guess I just don't particularly care for how much topography would be. See, he did throw going on the last one. He looked back. EJ Tackett did, but no, I don't like red square 10 back bowling. I do not like that pattern. I think it's all topography based. It depends on what you get. I think because there's so many games here, it does erase all the topography because you get 15, 24 games, Kyle. I have my phone. I'll
Yes,
look it up,
24
but-
games. Yep,
For
for qualifying, and then if you make cashers round, that's another round.
Yeah, just in qualifying in general. I don't
correct. Yeah,
particularly
3 rounds of
care.
qualifying is 24 games.
I don't particularly care for that. Just my opinion. I've seen a lot of patterns that get like that, and then it's all topography based. Then it really depends on what pairs you're hitting, more or less, versus your actual skill to read the lane and play how the lane is playing. And especially with 3 days worth of patterns, you can do a short, medium, long, and give everybody the best opportunity to score on their best condition, and then obviously try to grind your way in a pattern that you don't particularly like. Yeah, I don't know what they're bowling on right now, Mark. I don't know.
This is
I'm
the
talking about
speed
other
bump
days.
pattern.
This is one with oil, the eye pattern, basically.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of the eye pattern either.
So basically, you just don't want to see any pattern at the U.S. Open.
No, I just think the eye pattern's silly. I mean, why are you going to put a 2-2 strip down lane? The ball's going to break.
reverse.
Yeah, no, it's on the forward, isn't it?
I thought it was on the reverse.
Well, I don't have my
sorry, go
phone,
ahead.
so I can't-
can look at it.
You
Real
can't
quick.
look at it. I don't particularly care for that because the ball breaks loose. You start ball motion, and then your ball hits that big.
It starts going forward again.
Yeah, and then it breaks loose or it loses its traction, and
is
the ball's
on the-
got to
Sorry,
flip
you're right.
down.
It's on the forward.
It's on the
Yep.
forward. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. So I'm just not typically into all that.
So it's buffing that 2-2 on the back or on the forward on the back end of the lane.
Yeah, like Simo, I just watched him throw a ball. His ball definitely broke loose right at where the eye probably was, the top of the pattern, and just didn't do the right thing. It just kind of kept going. For me, typically I do like to bowl in those patterns actually though, because my ball hooks in the oil basically no matter what. And I just get a ball that hooks super early, and my ball, for whatever reason, my roll gets the ball to rev up in the mid lane. I don't know what the volume is in this because I can't look at it because I lost my phone. But
We can tell you. It's 28.9. So
Oh, that's not
29
bad.
mils.
I mean, I would try to just play where I got basically a urethane look where it hooks super early, 500 grit. That's just my opinion. Usually that works pretty well for me. But I just don't like the 1-to-1s too much. I just think it's kind of silly. We've got so much technology with the lane machines now, especially because they're using Kegel lane machines instead of the Brunswick ones. So I don't really understand the point of just oiling a block out there and saying, yeah, that's good. I know, Kyle, you think a little bit differently because you think of scoring pace. But at the same time, this isn't golf to where there's dogleg rights and this and that and this and that and this and that. This is like, you can create a pattern and make the guys play it. But at the U.S. Open, I feel like it should be hard, but it also should be available for everybody. If this guy wants to play a little farther left, he can. If this guy wants to play a little straighter, he can. Typically on the eye pattern, I've noticed that guys who play a little more in and they don't hit that spot where the pattern kind of comes up and then backs back out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If they can stay more in the middle where it's just oil all the way through, the reaction stays a little more steady. It looks
Yeah.
like Jake Peters and Kyle Troup are doing that.
Yeah, they're both playing left.
But the
Jake
problem
Peters
is,
just whipped the head pin.
yeah, the problem is once you miss right on that, it's freaking gone. So that's why I like to play them a little straighter and just hit the head pin.
Yeah,
But
10 back. I haven't seen a reverse block on any tournament.
isn't that when it comes like
professional
this
tournament.
way and goes that way?
Yeah, the outsides are oiled and the inside is quote unquote dry or less oiled. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how hard that's got to be?
Well, you're basically playing the opposite part of the lane. You can try to play up the outside, but it basically goes straight. So you're playing the bank shot,
I think Zach
or
Ravel's right.
or you can try to play the fadeaway shot.
If they use less thumb, things would be better. I think that's right. Believe it or not, my best finish in a regional, I was half thumbing it. And it looks like Dom Barrett today is really trying to get really on the ball. He's coming from real far inside. And he was really trying to saw on that thing.
Marshall Kent, front 7, 9 spare.
It's impressive.
Yeah, he's bowling really good right now.
I can't wait to watch him throw the ball and see where he's playing. But I just don't particularly
because he
care
does
for the
like to
patterns.
throw it hard and straight normally.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, and Zach Wilkins is super deep too. I just don't particularly like
And no
the
lefties right now, right?
one-to-ones. No, Graham Falk looks like he's
I
in
forgot
it.
he was in it. Yeah.
But yeah, the lefties typically, I think it becomes a little tougher because there is no breakdown for them, while the righties have some sort of breakdown.
Sure.
Isn't
The
Matt
lefties don't
Sanders
have
a
it.
lefty?
Oh yeah, Matt Sanders is too. Is
Matt
he in
Sanders is in there.
it? Okay, Matt Sanders and Graham
right.
Falk are in there.
All right,
I don't
so
know who else is in there.
Russo's a lefty.
Two-handed lefty with a thumb though, so technically it's, I don't know. But I think it's interesting. I'm not a fan of him. Kyle, I know that we had a big
Yeah. So my
discussion because of the scores.
nice, honest discussion last night. But no, I my opinion is when you're bowling a major, your scores should be low, and
Is the Players Championship a major?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, and we talked about on this show about how ridiculously high the scores were. But the Players Championship is also run by the PBA.
It's weird that it's so different, drastic.
Right.
He
But
is throwing it really nice. Marshall
Dom?
Kent.
Oh, that was Marshall.
Marshall Kent
where did he throw it? I missed it.
He threw a strike.
Yeah, I said where.
I don't know.
So anyway, my point is, I believe that the score should be low. And there's nothing wrong. So the field, the main field cut, to get into the cashers round, the average was right at 200, and I don't believe that there's anything wrong with that number. Was it a struggle to get there?
I don't
absolutely.
mind that. I don't mind the low scores. I don't agree with the patterns. I think there's another way to achieve it.
Do you think that if the pattern is openly playable to be in any location, it's going to be that low? Do you think that...
I'm not saying that it has to be available in every location. I said in the 3 days of qualifying, I would like to see a short, medium, long.
Okay,
to
yeah, but
give them the best chance to have their day.
To be able to, okay, so they did do short, medium, long.
Yeah, but not one. I don't like 1-to-1. I think it's stupid.
Why?
Because it's not
I understand the topography aspect, but
topography, and I think Mark also said
following the
people.
Different players, sure.
So all the PBA guys cry about squat inequity, which I didn't look because I don't have my phone. I'm gonna say it again.
I didn't check the stat. Yeah, we get it.
It was pretty close.
Should we put a phone counter on?
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Ding, 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 ding.
But if it's gonna be, I understand that there is how people play them changes how they are. But if it's more like if there's too much to where it's so reliant on how they play from the people that you bowled on before them, and then you go to another pair and it's completely different, then it's kind of like, well, what the heck?
Yeah.
If there's no strategy to playing the lane. It's basically, hey, throw it down the middle and just see what happens. Because in all honesty, that's probably what I would do. I know I'm not that good.
Jason Teal says everybody struggled except Simo.
For the second year in a row.
But I don't know that I would consider averaging 200 on this stuff a struggle. Like, to me, again, I would say averaging 200 out there is a really, really good day. Or a good week, I should say, because they bowled for 3 days in qualifying. Now, what's interesting is the scores went down in the cashers round, except for Simo. He's the only one that his average went up. So I don't know why this. Usually I thought that they tend to bowl pretty good on this pattern. I know it's a tricky pattern. We've bowled on this or something like it with the speed bump, but
they're gonna get nothing but better because they bowl on it the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
So the scores are definitely gonna go up the next blocks.
But I just don't remember their scores going down before, and I was surprised to see that in the cashers round. But anyway, that being said, I just think there's nothing wrong with having scores be low, quote unquote, in my, to put quotes on it, because back in the day, I tried to look up past history beyond what the USBC has on their website because I wanted to know, what did the guys in the 70s and 80s score at the US Open or Masters or whatever, just as a point of reference, not because I want the game to be like the old days, just curious.
Listen here, boomer.
I'm not that old yet,
dude.
But
sure act like a boomer to me, Kyle.
I just wanted to know, and I agree, Jack Papau, not supposed to be easy.
It doesn't have to be easy, but it doesn't have to be flat. There's no point.
All right, 1.1 next time.
It just doesn't make sense. Like 1-to-1 is just silly. Like that
Well,
doesn't
these
make any
lanes,
sense.
I mean, I'm not saying that these lanes are perfect.
there's no
but
lanes that are perfect.
I 100% agree with that. But my guess is that these lanes are pretty darn good. They're not like the place, and I'm not going to mention the name, that we went to in the past where they were visibly.
Because they were warped visibly.
They were like, it was like walking down a sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could see the ball go up and down the roller coaster.
I just don't think that 1-to-1 is the op. I don't think it's the holy grail. I think the USPC didn't know what to do this year, so they just left it the same.
Well, I don't think that's the reason. I bet you they had patterns picked. I just think that they made.
Really? They didn't have the Masters pattern picked till 20 minutes before
No,
we
they
bowled.
had patterns. This is their procedure, which we learned was they have patterns, and then the week before they bowl
there's
on
some
it.
information for you too.
And then they bowl on the patterns and they test them out on those lane surfaces, and then they pick them right before. All right, so Mark Taylor says when the tournament was at Carolier in the late 2000s, the cut was about minus 50 or so for 18 games with the 500-person field. 27-game casher cut was about plus 180. What was that number, though, for out of 500? What was the cut? Like, because this year it's 36. So I assume out of 500, it didn't go down to 36. So that's what I'm curious
500
about.
would be more, right?
I would think. That's what I was
1 in
getting
4.
at, yeah.
See, ask Joey if my phone's in the bar.
He's listening, so he'll let us
Joe,
know.
my phone in the bar?
So anyway,
No top table?
1 in 4. So that they had to have what's that? They took 100.
If I had my phone, that would do it.
125. They took out of the first cut.
Yeah.
So extrapolate that out. Top 36 would be probably two higher. I'm guessing they probably averaged 210 or 220 at least.
So what's that, 210 a game? Out
Um,
of 24 games, 27 games?
Hypothetical math, Kyle.
I'm trying to do it in my
It's
head
like
as
205.
live
It's
on
like
air. And that's
205,
tough.
206 a game.
For top 25, you
Joey
think?
D says
You just
yes.
said it was 210 up.
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew Hall. It's great to see Andrew Hall.
What's up, buddy? So Andrew Hall says, I think changing the order of the patterns caused the scores to lower a bit for qualifying compared to last year. Having to press the last day on that 49-foot impossible is somehow worse than pressing on the other two patterns. Good note from Andrew Hall,
Our friend.
PBA
Friend.
Rookie of the Year nominee. Thanks for chiming in, Andrew. Thanks for watching tonight. And good luck out there week in and week out bowling on the tour. What's up, Jack? Pow! DLP needs to be sponsored by Find My Phone. All right. So we got we're watching here. Marshall Kent just shot 267.
With an open.
Giant game. No, not a real open. He nine missed the last shot in the 10th, which is not in the.
How my
not an
guy
open in the
Dombrowski
10th.
do?
So not good. Yeah, he did not make match play. But he bowled good today. So we did pick a bunch of guys, right? So
I just wanted to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Simo is now 255 pins in the lead.
It's not enough.
all right. So
He had a 154 that game for a loss.
so last week we each of us picked like a top 5 of who we thought would do the best.
Did we write it down or anything?
Nope. I kind of remember-ish.
I
who
remember
picked.
a couple of who I picked because Kyle texted our group chat.
Who's the
DLP
top 5
group
again?
chat.
So
All right.
hang on, before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Head to our Etsy shop. Check out those shirts. You can always email us at downlanepod@gmail.com if you guys have any questions or suggestions. And if you can't watch on the YouTube or the Facebook
Billy's got a good look.
or the X, you can always download and listen via your favorite podcast service.
Billy O's got a good look.
Our friend of the show, Billy O, is on the stream right now. Who's he bowling against?
Your friend Jake Peters.
Ha! Jake Peters.
All right. So Kyle texted the DLP group chat.
Yeah.
The first day of tournament and said,
That you are.
look at Anderson. And I said, now hold on a second, Kyle, who's leading? Because I'm fairly positive last week I said something about Sam Cooley
Yeah.
being up there.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
And also Jason Stern.
I said Well, first of all, I asked Austin for any other futuristic advice because he's a
It's only
freaking
bowling.
prophet.
It's only bowling. I can't trust me. I'd be rich
I don't know how he picks these guys out of no. I mean, listen,
because you guys think too hard.
these guys are all good, obviously.
I mean, I'll say Kyle thinks too hard.
About everything. Yeah.
Anthony just picks. He's like me. He just picks.
But you did say Sterner was going to have a good week. Where that came from, I have no idea. But he's in match play
But
right now.
sometimes you just gotta believe.
I guess
man.
so. You said Sam Cooley was going to have a good week. Boom, he's there. Who else did you pick? Anybody else off the top of your head?
Move through the list.
Chris Vi.
You did say Chris Vi. He's not
he
there,
did
though.
not bowl very well, I don't think.
Now,
Hello, Tanica
I
Ted,
did
how
pick
can I help you?
Simo. That was obviously an easy pick. I picked EJ. That's easy. They're both
you guys
there.
picked easy
Yeah, but I mean, you
picks.
have to pick them. They're there. One of you picked Troop, I think.
I might have said something about Don Barrett. Might have to watch the VOD from
You
last
picked
week.
Peters.
I also picked
Anthony
Barrett.
picked Peters.
You picked Don Barrett,
I usually
or are you thinking of Dombrowski? I
no.
think-
Dombrowski was my
Your
he was my
sleeper.
long shot.
Okay. Oh, long shot. Okay.
Someone probably brought up Doherty.
Not me.
No, I didn't see
No, he doesn't have a thumb, so it can't be good.
Someone had.
Usually I
might have been
pick
me.
Barrett. Barrett's usually always one of my picks because I like his game. Who else did I pick? I didn't. Oh, I picked the.
Oh, I picked Tackett, of course.
I don't think I picked the lefty. Kyle.
you did.
Wow.
I picked Billy O. That was an easy pick.
Oh no, you couldn't because you could. Parker didn't bowl.
Yeah, I picked Parker Bone, but he wasn't,
That's right.
he wasn't on the lineup.
That's right.
He wasn't on the card.
But yeah, it's been a interesting week for our picks for sure. But yeah, Simo and EJ are obvious easy picks. So I'll just rattle off some current standings right now during match play. Simo obviously in first. You said he's leading by a couple hundred pins.
He lost pins too that game. He
Uh,
lost
he-
a lot.
he-
He shot 154 for a loss.
He did.
Billy's
Guess
looking
who's
the
in
nuts
second?
of it.
Billy
Billy's looking
O,
at-
Billy O.
huge game, 279 with the win.
Wait,
Billy O's in second. Kyle Troop's in third.
he's gonna have 258 this game.
Dude, Billy O's charging for the lead right now.
Maybe he went to 16 pounds.
Let's see. We got Belmo in fourth. Do we have a score on Belmo anywhere? Oh, we can't see it.
He's
and-
hooking the nuts off it.
Billy
I will
O.
say, yeah.
Belmo scores Belmo scores have gone down. He went 240, 250, 180, 20, 210.
EJ has not slowed down after the first game. 270, 230, 230, 240. Billy
He's
is
killing it.
locked. He's walking off shots. He is locked right now.
And Billy, I believe, is the only one 5-0. He is. He's the only one 5-0.
He'll be 6-0 after
Wow.
this game.
It's true too.
No, he's already won.
10 back says he's taking Dom for the W. He's
I
got a
like
lot of
Dom.
ground to make up right now.
I like Dom. I like Dom's game. I
He
think
lost
throws
his
it real
last
good.
match with a
I'm
230.
locking it in. I'm taking Cooley.
Who
All
the
right.
heck was that guy?
Can
He looked like a
we
nickel
time
head.
out real quick?
We always time out for you.
Can we talk about this new Bowl TV scoring? I don't know if any of our viewers watch Bowl TV at all, but they put this new scoring in where they're not. They used to put the cameras up on the scoring monitors, right? And it would track the actual scores. But now what they do is they keep a running tally of the. Oh, that one was not a good one. Grab that one, Billy O.
I think he knows. It'll be okay.
He shakes off his head like it's a big deal. He's got the game by him. I mean, listen, I know he wants to go for the top seed against or over Simo, but like, listen, you lost 10 pins. Like, it's not a big deal. I know how I would be, but all right. So it keeps a running tally and it does not give you a running total for the game against the other player, which any bowler that's watching would be able to figure it out. But for any nonchalant bowler that doesn't really know scoring all that well would probably have a hard time doing that. So I just don't like
How do you
this.
know that's the monitors?
It's not the monitors. This is the Bowl TV scoring that they just created.
That's what I would assume. Yes,
This is what I'm saying. They just implemented the scoring this week.
looks good.
It looks nice. I just don't like that it doesn't tell you the total of the game until the end.
I think we got a position for Kyle to be in charge of Bowl TV.
Dude, I would rock it, but they don't have the money. So Dan asks, is ball weight ever a differentiator when it comes to different oil patterns? That's a good question.
Depends if you're on duck pin or 10 pin.
I would say that depending on the level that you're at, and how much you can afford in bowling balls,
I would use the same weight every time.
yeah. Well, there are certain guys that, or most guys would agree with you, I think, but I think there are some guys that actually do change, depending on the lane pattern.
So now, would you think that on that 1-to-1 pattern, would a 16-pound ball want to deflect less than a 15-pound ball?
Well, yeah, and it changes directions less too.
Yeah, it'll roll smoother. It won't flip as hard.
So
you're
that's
saying-
definitely a differentiator right there.
So what you're saying is load my weights up in my ball with a ton of thumb weight.
I think Sterner just doubled in the 10th to win. I gotta get rid of this to see if I'm right.
By the way, 10 back is taking Dom for the dub. Did we mention that?
Yeah,
yet?
I did. Yeah.
Well, he needs 7. He needs 8 here,
Maybe
right?
maybe for some of these
228 the
tournaments,
guy,
Kyle,
238 guy can shoot.
Kyle, we should work on it for our fans here. Maybe have like a voting poll.
Put a poll out there.
Yeah.
Who is that guy? He looks like freaking a goose or something throwing the ball. He's
That's
so
Trevor
long.
Roberts.
Like a
Roberts.
goose.
Well, he's just long and lanky. Oh, he needs this one here to beat Simo. He needs this one here. Simo's at 216. If Robert strikes, he's gonna have 213, and all he's gonna need is 4 pins to win. If I can read math.
Yes, he would have 223 if he strikes out.
Sterner
yes.
looks like he's going. Wait, no, Belmo can. I think Belmo can win here.
Yeah, he needs
He needs a double. He needs a double.
I will say
all this
Landon
screen
Jordan,
changing is killing me.
Landon Jordan had a good week.
Whoever the frig that is.
That's exactly why I brought him up.
There's a lot of
He's
new players.
He's a young gun.
And there was a junior player that made the cashers round as well. Let me find his name. It was
Isn't that Landon Jordan?
no.
No.
Sorry, stand by. Bobby Habbetler
Bobby Gadouche.
from Illinois. So yeah,
Congratulations to Bobby Gadouche
Yeah.
from Illinois.
all of his money goes into his smart account. All right. So who is our pick for the top seed? Is Simo going to hold on here for 2 more rounds, or are we going to have a change of leadership?
I don't even know who's in the field right now.
Come on.
I mean, the way
It's tough.
the way I see Billy O's scores going, I think Billy O catches him.
Nah, Simo's just gonna be your 1 seed. It's too hard to catch him that far out. I know. Is it 30 pins bonus pins?
Yeah, but there's 2 more rounds.
30 pins
and
bonus
30
pins.
pins.
There's
bonus pins.
2 more rounds.
And he's 200 up.
And
Yeah, but
Belmo just doubled.
he lost 100 pins last game to Billy O.
Who's? Oh, is that the kid right there? The little guy, the little baby. Yep, there he is. He
Landon
looks-
Jordan.
I don't know how much is he down?
3.
Billy O, 255.
And for 2 games, he's gonna make 255 pins.
No, 2 rounds.
There's 2 more rounds.
Oh, rounds,
Yes.
not games. Nah, I don't think it happens. I think Belmo, Simo figures out how to play him the right way. I think this round for him is kind of more of just like a, let me see where I'm at. Let me see how I'm doing. Keep it moving, doing my thing. So that way he can figure out how he wants to play the lanes for the next 2 rounds. I think the next 2 rounds are going to be more crucial, especially as scores are going to go up. I think he's probably just going to get with his ball rep, and he likes to drill a lot of bowling balls. So I think he's going to drill a lot right after this round to get himself set up for the next 2. And then we'll have to see what happens from there. But I do foresee Simonson being able to pick up his game in the next 2 rounds to either match Bill O'Neill. But Bill O'Neill's pace is going to have to be kind of unbelievable to really catch up with him. So,
which he's not unfamiliar with.
no, I'm not saying that he can't do it. I just think that the Simo, because he's so far ahead, once he figures out the lanes a little bit and gets with his ball reps and drills a few more balls for the next 2 rounds, I think that Bill O'Neill's pace is going to have to be so high to catch up. I think it's just Simonson's just going to have enough.
He might just need to go into the ice bath and cool his head off.
Oh, that's right. They can't drill balls. They're limited to 10. But are they allowed to switch every round, though? I thought they were able to switch every round.
Well, now I'll have to go back and read the rules, or Mark can correct me, but usually after the qualifying rounds, they can switch it up.
Is this technically a qualifying
no,
round?
this is match play now.
So it becomes a different round of match play every time?
No, what I'm saying is usually after match play or after qualifying, you can
No,
reset,
right, and
start over, but then you're locked again.
then you're locked for the rest of the time.
I believe so.
All right, then
I
never
mean, I
mind.
got to be honest. The only thing he should have to figure out is how they're going to play different being one-on-one matches, because he absolutely crushed it when they were qualifying on this pattern.
I could see that there's
He
a
took
lot less lane
huge lead in
transition.
the qualifying block on this pattern.
Right.
Yeah, the cashers round qualifying. Yeah.
I could totally see that they're not going to transition nearly as much just because there's less players out there.
Right.
And also, this is the first time they bowled on this pattern, right?
This week,
year.
yeah.
So, I mean, we'll have to see. Just before the cashers round, but they made their choices and have to live with them. They had 2 hours of practice on the match play pattern before cashers round. I'm sure that he'll get with his ball reps regardless, and they'll change some surfaces and get stuff in order. I don't foresee him being really caught.
EJ front 4 against Sam Cooley right now, and Sam Cooley's got it open.
That's just my opinion. I think Simon was he's that good to where if you're 2 balls behind, or too much behind, it's gonna be a lot hard
And like
to make it up.
and like Tom Clark has said in the past, Simo is a chameleon. Like, he can just change. Like, he just can change on the fly to do whatever he needs to make it work. 10 back says, just look at Dom's first 3 of match play. Is it too late to change my pick? Because he said Dom was going to get the W.
There's a lot of way to go.
170, 170,
Lot of
160,
way to go.
211, 230. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going back the other way.
They got other games. They got other rounds to go. All right, so why don't we, while these guys are starting their next rounds of next couple games of match play here.
By the way, Simonson's got a double, so it's game 7. If he can turn on now and keep himself up a little bit, I just don't foresee, if he figures out the fresh, I don't foresee these guys catching him. I don't.
Why don't we get to a listener question here that I did not prepare you for, but here we go. And it's a little bit of a tough one because we don't know
Get prepared.
exactly this person's role and whatnot. But this is M. Wheel.
What up, Wheel?
And
Wheel!
he said, recently we were talking about a well-rounded arsenal. And he had a question, and he said, yes, I know the arsenal of a big ASIM, big SIM, and down from there. But what are your thoughts on layouts for a well-rounded arsenal? How do you approach which are benchmark, continuous control, long and strong, etc. layouts for the arsenal?
So he wants layouts for the arsenal?
Yeah, and I assume where we're going to start, or not start, but what we're going to have to say is it doesn't necessarily whoa, Kyle Troop almost chopped a
1-3-5-6. 1-3-5-6.
Yeah, but it came out of the back, it looked like.
Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, it's going to have to depend on, his specific role and what the balls are and all that good stuff. But maybe we don't talk specifically about numbers, because every drill angle or buffer system, whatever your pro shop operator uses.
We could just talk about in general what type of layout you would use, where it's be more of a matched layout versus, more of a pin low, pin middle.
Right.
We could talk about that a little bit more, try to squeak around the question.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Is he a storm guy? Is he a
Didn't say.
project guy?
Didn't say.
I mean, it's definitely a tough
Oh,
question.
but he did
to
say
answer.
that he loves the show. It's Lefty Mike from PA. That's right. Lefty Mike.
Lefty Mike. What up, Lefty Mike? First of all, if you don't have a purple hammer, you got to go get one. Well, is this a tournament bag arsenal or just an arsenal well-rounded?
Just said
arsenal?
well-rounded arsenal, but
If you're gonna go bowl tournaments, or something that's not in the house shot, typically I would 100% yes. Pizza Wings, fantastic layout. That's my go-to.
4.2.
I would say you're gonna want a purple hammer if you're bowling. Yes. You're going to want a purple hammer in there. If you're going to bowl some tournaments, just because that ball is a really good control piece. But we'll stick with just a regular arsenal without the purple, just to chat. I would say you're gonna want a spare ball. Would you agree? Unless you can double the urethane ball as a spare ball.
Yeah, which is what I do.
Simon's
Also
got the
what I
front
do.
5 guys.
I will
No slowing
interject
down.
quick. Never be afraid to send a shot video with your email question.
No, that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Pizza Wings, we don't want to see you.
Jesus, that's aggressive. Wow, now you hate me, pizza wings? I think you should hate Angry Health. A lot of stuff. So we like the big ASIMs typically. For me, in my layout, I am a left-hander, but I like to hook it a little bit more than some of the other left-handers.
Absolutely.
So for me, my benchmark layout on most of my equipment is 50 by 4 1/4 by 40. That puts my angle sums, which are the first angle and the other angle, at like 1.2 or something like that, 1.1. Typically, when your front angle and your back angle are closer together in the same number, it's going to be more of a steady reading, more mellow type ball reaction. So for me, I like to use a lot of that in some of my benchmark pieces. So I have a Theorem and a Defender and an NV-Tor that are all at that layout. Are you okay, Kyle?
I'm just trying to see what this guy's using.
Oh, and so I like to use those 3 balls at a benchmark layout. It gives me something that's a big ASIM. I've got a shiny asymmetric, and then I have a low diff asymmetric, and that kind of keeps me in that realm of what I'm looking for there. So most of my layouts back in even last year, all of my asymmetrical layouts were basically the same thing, 50 by 4 1/4 by 40, and I let the ball mechanics do its thing. That's my benchmark layout now. I do have some balls that have quick response layouts, and typically the layout that I use for that is 50 by 4 3/4 by 25. Those are some pretty strong angles. But what it is the ratio on that one, it's 2 to 1. So 50 and 25. So it's half. Typically when your drill angle is 2 times more than your VAL or your VAL angle, your back angle, that'll typically give you a little bit more of a quicker response type reaction. And typically what I use that for is when I'm going on to the long stuff or there's a ton of volume, medium to long.
Straight. Sorry about that.
That's
but it
okay.
did go through the face.
So that's what I use for my quick response layouts. And then I use 5 by 30 for my symmetricals. And then my symmetricals, just because I can lower the flare because my ball reads the middles a lot. And the 30 kinds of make sure that when we are on some volume, it does dig a little bit more. And then my last layout is my pin down layout. It's 45 by 4 1/2 by 60. I use that on symmetricals and asymmetricals to get me closer to the friction and something that's a little bit more rounded. So hopefully that wasn't too much gibberish and people glaze their eyes over. But if you're going to pick a 6-ball arsenal, I would typically have a big asymmetric that is either going to be pinned down so that way you can get something that retains a little more energy, but that big cover will just kind of tumble through it. So that way it doesn't burn up and dig too much in the mid lane. Just because a lot of the lane surfaces are older, you don't always need those big balls pin up because they dig too much in the front part of the lane. That ball will die out a little bit quicker. So I'm using a 45 by 4 1/2 by 65 on my mindset, my OG mindset. That ball tumbles really well. We were on 40 feet last night. It kept me a little closer to the friction and didn't overreact, if you remember that one. Then if I had to pick ball number 2, it rolled good yesterday. If I had to pick ball number 2 for an asymmetrical that's shiny, I'm gonna use my Theorem. That ball's extremely good right now. You can barely even get that ball. I know, it's great. That ball's got a lot of back end. It's a little cleaner.
Joey's roll's really good too. Joey D.
Yeah, and his is pinned down. But I use my 55 by 4 1/4 by 40 on that. That gives me a little more side roll. It gives me a little more dig in the mid lane, but it's not going to overreact because the VAL is a little higher. So that's going to be my benchmark layout.
Through 7 frames, Simo's got 7. And this guy, David Kroll, I think he's using a Widow Ghost, going for 280. So this is a heck of a match.
Billy O made 30 pins last game.
It is a ghost.
Looks like it's in.
Anyways, so those are the 2 that I would start off with. I would start off with a mindset with that pin down, and then I would use a Theorem that is more benchmarky, that layout there. 50 by 4 1/4 by 40 for my Theorem, and 45 by 4 1/2 by 65 for my mindset. So that is hilarious, Pizza Wings. So those are the 2 that I would use for those.
You got to watch on YouTube because only just for Pizza Wings comments. I mean, he's on point. And Anita too.
YouTube followers that
they just got some serious comments. All right, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So then we're gonna probably, for me, I'm gonna work my way into the symmetrical part of my bag. And if I had to pick something, if I would pick probably, I don't know, if I'm just going to an event, I'm probably going to pick a Troublemaker or a GB2 solid. Those two are my go-tos. If I don't know the pattern, I'm probably going to take a GB2 because it is pinned down. It's a little cleaner, and I like to use a little bit of surface so I can always get that break point closer to me. The Troublemaker for me, it digs so much in the mid lane because of the layout. It's 5x30. I don't typically need to use that one unless I'm on some sport stuff or the PVA patterns because there's so much volume out there. So that's where that ball will come into play. If I'm just traveling around, I'd probably take a GB2 just because it's a little bit more versatile and I can add some surface to it if I need a little bit more.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ronald. Okay, so now I'm into ball number 4. After that, it is an interesting pick here. I honestly would probably just take a second theorem. I am going to be drilling a second theorem a little bit differently because I think that ball's fantastic. But if I can't choose another theorem, probably going to go with a GB4 hybrid. That ball has been really good for me. That is my 5x30. When we get onto the sport patterns, it is a little bit boomy. When I get into something that's a little bit more tapered.
Bull TV just did the roaming camera 300 Jinx.
Okay, yeah, sorry, Simo.
Yep.
So anyways, I'd go to a 5x30 GB4 for my shiny ball. I do like that one, especially when we go away and there's a lot of oil in the fronts on the sport pattern. That's pretty good for me. And then if I have a wild card ball, I'm probably going to bring Purple Hammer. You never leave home without a Purple Hammer. No, you do not.
Ever.
If I'm
I was
not
gonna say that better not be your wild card ball.
No, it's not my wild card. If I'm going somewhere, I'm going to take it. I'll stay away from your
thing. Unless it's a PBA event.
Unless it's a PBA event, then I'll go with my Black Hammer. 2 balls that I'm really starting to figure out and starting to like are the new Blue Hammer. That is my urethane layout. So bear with me because that one is 3.5x15 on the new Blue Hammer. That ball rolls really good for me. I've gotten it really close to purple. You can ask Kyle. It's just a little bit more down lane. I've gotten really good with that ball. And then the other ball the 3 balls that I would bring are new Blue Hammer. Not bring, but I would consider new Blue Hammer, the Purple Hammer, or the Black Hammer, depending on the event. And then I would also think about a Scorpion Low Flare. I drilled that one last night. I do seem to like that ball quite a bit.
It's very whippy. I guess that's what it's supposed to do, though, right?
It's not supposed to be super whippy. It's supposed to be a little bit more benchmarky and smoother because it is a low differential ball. But because it's got a smaller Simonson just 9-pin after that.
Andrew did mention
9-pin, 8-pin.
to me
Ouch.
that Scorpion Low Flares looks good.
I think I just threw it last night at 40 feet, and of course it hooked quite a bit. I'd like to see what it does on a little bit more volume. It's probably going to need a little bit more surface, but that's like the GB2. I feel like I can add a little bit more surface and get away with it. So for layout wise, back to that. I didn't think it was too whippy. It was a little bit jumpy sometimes, but it wasn't overall too bad. I think it mellowed out as I threw it.
Probably if it was that your first time throwing it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it didn't have any shine on it or
it's definitely
wearing, then
rollier.
But the first few balls that I saw you throw, it looked like it was pretty quick off the spot.
But the back ends are clean too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that ball is kind of like a fresh ball. I'd have to see where it's going to fit in, but I would probably use stuff like that. And layout wise, like I said, you're going to use something that's got ratios that are closer to matched on your bigger bowling balls. And then you're going to have some balls that are going to have some, for me at least, I use 5-inch pins. If you are a little bit rev deficient, use some closer pins, 4.5, 4.25. If you're rev deficient, I'm about 420 on the rev rate spectrum. What's my rotation is like 45 degrees, and then my tilt is like 27. So I like balls that kind of dig a little bit more in the mid lane because of my tilt, but it can't be too crazy. So like I said, ratios are a little bit more matched on 2 balls. Then you want some that probably have that half, that 2-to-1 where it's 50x25. You want 1 or 2 of those in there, and then you want some other ones just kind of mix into kind of balls you like, and some trusty layouts as you like. Just make sure you're comfortable. As long as you like the ball reaction, that's all that really matters.
Right.
But those are my layouts. Hopefully, because it's on podcast, you can rewind and go through and kind of listen to what I said again, because I'm sure it was probably not explained the best because it was off the top of my head. Thanks, Kyle, for not preparing me. But hopefully it was pretty all right. But I do like a lot of the lower flaring equipment. I don't typically like stuff in the 5s. I usually like all the bowling balls that are in the 4s. Hence why I like a Troublemaker GB2, GB4, Scorpion low flare is a 3-1. The only ball that has like a 050 diff for me that is in my bag is probably that Mindset. For me, I like the not as strong diff balls. Does that make sense? Did I explain it okay?
I was trying not to listen, so.
For example, Kyle's probably going to use some more matched layouts just because he's so far up the back. We got to retain a little bit more energy.
I'm working on that, though.
So I don't know why, because we finally are getting something done with your layouts where your balls are rolling really well. And of course,
I figured I'd change it.
Yeah, I know. I watched last night. The ball went 4 feet further than it normally does.
That was just at the beginning. I was messing around. All right, relax. Did you watch the end?
No.
It's not really good.
Okay, that's good. I see it on your videos every day. So, anyways, Kyle uses some more matched layouts. Austin is also, he's actually, for Austin, he likes longer pins, and he also likes bowling balls that have a higher VAL. So we're talking 50 plus because his rev rate is so high. The 50s retain a little more energy, create a little longer hook zone for him. They don't dig in the fronts as heavily, but he doesn't really need that because his rev rate and his rotation are his rev rate's pretty high, and his rotation is very strong. It's pretty, not sideways, but he's got a good he rotates it pretty good. So he doesn't need the ball to really go crazy.
Hold the phone. Pizza Wings has an actual comment.
Anthony doesn't have his phone, though.
And a real question.
I know what those are.
We can't hold the phone.
Hold it.
Can't hold my phone.
Joey, hold Anthony's phone. Pizza Wings wants to know cover stock on Widow 3.0 compared to the Mindset.
Yes, Mark, I agree. Austin has a great release. Hence why we use longer VAL angles so he doesn't get the ball to corner too hard down lane because then it picks up and goes a little too forward. Pizza Wings, cover stock on the Widow 3.0 compared to the Mindset. So the Black Widow is the HK22 aggression solid, and then the Mindset is like the evolution solid from Brunswick. So typically out of the normal base that they use for those, the evolution cover stock, I believe that's what it is called, for the Mindset is typically a lot stronger. In the front part of the lane, it's typically the strongest cover that they use. They don't really have a stronger one. It's on all the quantum lines. It's on the Mindset lines. That ball is probably going to pick up in the fronts a lot stronger.
Bill O'Neill with another possible 250 game here if he strikes.
He might catch him.
And he's
locked.
250 if he
I wonder if he's on the Widow 3.0.
What did Simo end up with?
250 also with the win.
All right,
so Black Widow is the aggression solid with the HK22, the new cover base, the new base resin that they're using for these balls. Typically what I see out of the aggression cover stock without the HK22 base is typically the aggression cover is a little bit weaker. It's a little bit cleaner. I think the core on that ball is a little bit more rolly, especially for me. And because it's so high flaring, it typically just tumbles. So I think you get a little bit more continuation from your Widow, from the core versus the Mindset, where the Mindset's a little bit more tumbly and forward. And then with the covers on it, the evolution cover on the Mindset is stronger, so it's going to give you even more tumble, even more that early read when there's a ton of volume on the lane. I think the aggression cover with the HK22 is stronger than the original aggression cover stock, if that makes sense. But with the new base of HK22, I typically find that those balls adhere to the lane a lot more, which is weird to say, but they grab the lane differently. So I would say that the covers are probably a little bit closer than they used to be just because of the cover base on the 3.0. The HK22 stuff adheres and it responds to friction quicker, and it doesn't really mask, it doesn't really go down the lane as far on the solid pieces versus the shiny. The shiny gets super far down lane, but as soon as they put a solid part or a solid additive in it, those balls really pick up the front part of lane. Think about Envision Pearl.
Yeah.
That ball comes matted though. That ball picks up super early.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what other balls do, but I watched Bill O'Neill's and his was pretty tumbly too. It wasn't really super sideways. So I think that they are a little bit closer now with the HK22 base in the aggression solid cover. So I think those balls are a little bit closer than what they originally were. If you're looking for something that's a little cleaner, that rolls a little bit more down lane, but you still want that solid, you're going to want to go with the 2.0. Everything if you want most overall motion, most overall the better ability to handle oil, you're going to go with the 3.0. Wow. Pizza Wings makes a big thing right there. He says, I should be the host.
No, he's the commentator, and I'm the host. I drive. All right.
No, typically
Settle
I
down,
drive.
Pizza.
Usually I drive.
Stick to your comedy. All right,
Usually I
Pizza.
drive.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's what I would say for those balls. I have drilled a few 3.0s. They are widows. The motion's pretty similar. I just think that it handles a little bit more oil. So those balls are a little closer, while the 2.0 is a step down, and then obviously the 2.0 hybrid is the cleanest and the most responsive to friction downlane. That's my personal opinion. Did I answer that question?
That was unbelievable. Dave, thanks for checking in to say hello. Oh yeah, what's up from Altamont? Well,
any more questions before I go technical
it
answers?
is time for us to go bowling.
I'm rumbling
You
on
went
the
to
technical
school with your
stuff.
father.
I know that he's
God
checked
bless
in
your
on
soul,
the
Dave.
Facebook.
God bless your soul. You know?
So, with all that being said, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for chatting it up a storm tonight, guys. The comments were on fire.
Remember,
Thank
don't get arrested by a U.S. Marshal.
At a bowling tournament. Whew.
Was that bad? Was
Good
that
show
aggressive?
tonight. No,
Was that
that's
aggressive?
good. That's good. Don't get protection orders and leave the state. It's pretty simple. So, guys,
we will tell Nick to behave. It's not going to work. You met that guy?
He had to behave last week because he had that fresh tat on his calf.
That's right.
That's right. Fresh calf tat.
The-
Calf tat
The
Nick.
calf tat's released tonight. So, if you watch tonight, we bowl, you will see the new tat on the back of the calf.
And big news, Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari 2025. I am a Ferrari guy. I'm going to have to go check out the news. We'll see. Great driver.
We got a
see
who
if he can
cares
bring it
alert.
home.
Who cares? We got a who cares alert.
See if we can bring that home this year. A few titles. Is he with Leclerc? I wonder if he's with Leclerc.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel, not driving. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Check out all the social pages like Facebook, Instagram, X. You can download and listen via your favorite podcast service like Spotify or Apple Podcasts if you can't watch on YouTube.
I get to bowl my dad tonight.
That sounds fantastic. Is he bowling?
That's exactly my point.
So, thanks for tuning in tonight. Great show. Don't forget to keep watching the U.S. Open. The team event is going to be on Fox FS1, I believe. I forget which day. I should have checked that. I believe it's Saturday. And then Sunday is the finals of the U.S. Open. And what? Why are you hitting me? Open Championships?
Jerseys.
Yeah. You can check out our channel as we are going to start getting out our Open Championships information, like our ball choices and stuff, and practicing and all that good stuff. So we're going to start talking about that.
February.
Yeah, dude, it's in like 2 weeks.
What is?
Open Championships.
Oh, it starts in 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's like right around the corner.
Hey, now.
All right. So thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Thank you to Austin Van Buren, the producer. Great show tonight. Anthony. Ow. Now I can't pull. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
Jam bread.
We will see you guys next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.